All right, so these problems are for you, Chapter 2, Lesson 3, for you to kind of work out on your own. And then press play, and then I'll go over the answers to show you how you did. So go ahead and press pause now, work out the problems, and then press play, and then we will go over them. Okay, here we go. We're going to do problem number 1. Number 1 is just 3 minus 8. So we know that 3 is positive. We know that 8 is negative. So the signs are different. We take the difference between 8 and 3. The difference between 8 and 3 is 5. And it is going to actually be a negative 5 because 8's the bigger number and 8 is negative. So there you go. Hope you got that one right. All right, on to the next one. We have number 2, negative 5 minus a negative 1. So right here, I can see, all of a sudden, that we have 2 negatives right there. So whenever we have 2 negatives like that, that turns into a positive. So what we're working with is negative 5 plus 1. That's a negative number. That's a positive number. So the signs are different. You take the difference. And the difference between 5 and 1 would be 4. Now we just need to figure out, is it a positive 4 or a negative 4? Which number is bigger out of 5 and 1? And 5 is bigger, 5 is negative, so our answer is negative. So there we go. Okay, on to the next one. Let's do number 3. Number 3 states negative 3 minus 4. So this is a negative number, this is a negative number. You add them together. 3 plus 4 is 7, and since they're both negative, your answer is also going to be negative, so that's negative 7. Okay, on to number 4, negative 7 minus a negative 2. So do you see it? Do you see it? Do you see it? There's 2 negatives there, right there. They're touching, and they turn into a positive. So we have negative 7 plus 2. We have a negative number and a positive number. The signs are different, so you guessed it. We take the difference. The difference between 7 and 2 is 5, and 7 is a bigger number, and 7 is negative, so our answer is going to be negative. So there you go. The next one, 12 minus 6. This is kind of old school. 12 minus 6 is just 6. 2 minus a negative 7, number 6. Okay, I hope you see something. I hope you see it. Yes, those 2 negatives actually end up being a positive. So what we're dealing with is 2 plus 7. 2 plus 7 is 9. Okay, number 7, on to the next one. Negative 8 minus 8. So, negative 8 minus 8. This is a negative number. This is also a negative number. Whenever you have 2 negative numbers, you just add the numbers and keep the negative. So we have 8 plus 8, which is 16, and they're both negative, so it's going to be negative 16. So boom, there we go. Okay, on to number 8. We have negative 5 minus a negative 8. Do you see it? Do you see it? Do you see it? I see it. 2 negatives. Those 2 negatives means that it automatically turns into a positive. So what we're dealing with is a negative 5 plus 5. And so we have a, what do we have? We have a negative number and we have a positive number. And what is the difference between 5 and 5? Well, there is no difference. The signs are different. There is no difference. So since there is no difference, 0 means there is no difference. Negative 5 plus 5 is actually equal to 0. Okay, on to number 9. We have negative 1 minus a negative 2. I hope you see it. I hope you see it. I hope you see it. I know you see it. And there's 2 negatives. Those 2 negatives mean that this is actually a positive. So we have negative 1 plus 2, a negative number and a positive number. Negative and positive, the signs are different. So we're going to take the difference. The difference between 2 and 1 is 1. And 2 is the bigger number and it's positive, so our answer is going to be positive. So there you go. All right, on to number 10. 9 minus a negative 3. 9 minus a negative 3, and we have a negative and a negative. And guess what? Those turn into a positive. So we have 9 plus 3, which is just 12. So if you got that right, great job. You're awesome. You're amazing. Okay, on to number 11. 8 minus 1, that's number 11. That one's pretty easy. 8 minus 1 is just 7. Okay, cool. Moving on. Number 12. 7 minus a negative 9. I hope you see it. I hope you see it. Okay, I know you saw it. Oh, there's 2 negatives there. So those 2 negatives means it's a positive. So what we're dealing with is 7 plus 9, which is really the same thing as 16. So if you got that right, woohoo, you're amazing. You're awesome. Okay, cool. On to the next one, number 13. We have -3 minus 8. So this is a negative number. Minus 8 is also a negative number. So when you have two negative numbers, what the rule states is you add the numbers together. 3 plus 8 is 11. And since they're both negative, you just keep that negative sign. So the answer is -11. So boom, there you go. Oh, our last one right here, number 14, -3 minus a -7. Okay, I don't want to say it, but I have to. There's two negatives and I see them right there. There they are. They're right there. They're touching. So those two negatives turn into a positive. So we have -3 plus 7. We have a negative number and we have a positive number. That means the signs are different. So we take the difference. I just can't help myself. Okay, what's the difference between 7 and 3? It is 4. Okay, now is it a +4 or a -4? Let's look at the numbers. Which one's bigger? 7. And 7's positive, which means our answer is positive. So there we go. I hope you got all those right. If you did, you're going to keep my job. You did a great job. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.